I need all of you to make me feel better about where we're at. Like, who can rub my back or tell me something nice?
As I was saying, so we escorted this awesome memorial through. The streets were lined with people waving flags.
But it was hundreds of motorcycles, wasn't it?
I want to say the number that I heard, and the number the news reporter was, there's 100 motorcycles. Well, no, there wasn't. There was more like 400. And then there was probably 100 vehicles on top of that. And the vehicles were packed with people.
But why would they say that it's not as many? It's just the local news. Who gives a shit?
They just got it wrong. That's all. They just saw 100. And maybe missed the S.
There was no stops, if I'm not mistaken, right? All the police were coordinated from the Mohegan all the way up to McDade. There was no like stoplights, really. It was.
I wouldn't say it was coordinated. There was some townships that were more involved than others because there was intersections that we were going through, and I was near the rear. I think it was the third vehicle from the end because I guess they tried to put like all the bigger trucks like towards the back,
right?
And there was a Scranton police truck that was the very, very last vehicle. But going through these intersections, and like by Ken Pollock Chevrolet up there, it was madness, and people were standing over. Some people got out of their cars covering their hearts. Like it was
moving.
Absolutely, people did not forget.
Does that? I mean, that's kind of like what I'm looking for. That's kind of like the reassurance I'd like.
Yeah, I mean, I think. Go ahead, Dan.
Oh, what I see in my head though too that we've moved away from maybe over the generations is, and maybe it's just this Mayberry brain that I have in my head that like when something like that would be moving from town to town, like people would be going outside their businesses and like honoring it as it's driving by, and that's something that's kind of been lost amongst communities and everything like that though. Or am I just like living in some like fantasy world where like
I don't disagree with that.
No, I think you're spot on. I think
yes,
you got to keep in mind. This is northeastern PA. This is not Philly.
Yeah,
it's a different. Yeah. It is a different world. So where we remember, we honor. There's a generation of people that I genuinely feel like they don't care.
Well, like Clark Summit has a very good Memorial Day parade every year.
Yeah.
People line the streets. People go to the service at the VFW after when they read the names and everything. And like,
yeah.
So it's there, but how, because I don't know. I don't live in these other smaller towns. Is it similar there? You got to figure every third house is either a veteran or once removed, probably.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, why? I mean,
just the area we live in.
Why does it?
I was just going to say, I think sometimes the bigger the city, the far removed it feels, right? Because like you're not closer to the incident, to like the thing that happened, right?
Well, that was going to be my question. Whereas, like, why does it seem like these smaller places? It seems like they seem to get it, and then the bigger places don't really seem to get it. Not to say that they don't get it, but they don't get it in the way that like the more rural, community driven places are. And is that?
Well, I think you just said it. The community driven places,
and it's just because it's the machinations of
it's
like
the culture.
City living.
If I had to guess, I would say it's the culture. I mean, you look at how we live and the people that we're around. It's a culture of community. It's a culture of remembering and honoring people that have sacrificed in the past.
But don't you think the city that got hit the hardest should be like, whoa, we will never forget this.
Newer, faster, better.
But I mean, you look at that city, right? And just break down the demographics and basically also not just demographics, but backgrounds, like where people are coming from. So that city is probably growing by the day.
But did it almost recycle itself since then?
I'm kind of thinking it will be along that line, right? Because like
20 years, the people who were there are gone.
You have new people coming in. A lot of people also are leaving the city to go to the suburbs, right? So you do have that as well. So, and then you only have like the influx of new people coming in. So,
I guess I struggle with the idea, like, in other words, like like we're in Scranton, right? If something happened here that was catastrophic, something that was absolutely terrible, like
I still hear about mine fires.
Yeah, but we're not doing the parades, but But I mean, like, but everywhere we go, there's historical landmarks. There's all this stuff. There's all these groups. There's always something going on every day to commemorate, remember.
We went to the memorial for Joe Evans, the sheriff that was killed 100 years ago.
Yeah.
To the day yesterday.
Bootleggers. Accidentally.
Well, he was actually killed by the farm owner who thought he was a bootlegger coming to rob him.
What?
Yeah. 100 years ago, September
Only
9th.
sheriff ever in Lackawanna County killed in the line of duty.
Yep. 100 years ago yesterday.
Yesterday.
And his granddaughter was there to receive it. It was beautiful.
It was awesome.
Wow.
But this stuff,
I mean,
like,
downtown Courthouse Square is just covered in memorials. It's ingrained in our culture.
Like, which is cool to see, right? Which is like, it's cool to see, but like sometimes I always ask myself how many people actually go and sit there and
to the ones who matter, it does.
Exactly. So you're gonna get
like
people,
the ones who it matters to. You know,
that's what like you're gonna get the people that like, you know, it hit closer home, so they're gonna feel connected to it.
Like,
and
I'm not going to go to the 99
be
Tons
there.
of Bananas Memorial because it really doesn't affect me.
It's a great song, though.
It is.
It's a great song.
It is a great song.
There's a memorial for that?
No, maybe
There's
there's
a
a
song.
placard.
It's a Krispy Kreme.
That was
Yeah.
my grandfather's truck.
Fuck off. Really?
Mm-hmm. From that song.
That he owned that truck?
My grandfather owned Chomko Bananas.
Wait, that song's about your grandfather?
First of all,
That was
Chomko Bananas might be the greatest business name ever.
Well, it was Chomko Trucking. He had all the banana rights, if you will, trucking rights.
He was in the
truck
banana
them.
mob.
Yeah, for the Eastern
I
Seaboard.
bet you there is one.
Do you know anything about your grandfather's business or anything like that? Do you know the history?
I know a lot about it, but I mean, not enough to like really go in depth and speak about it. But yeah, it was wild. He owned Bananas, banana trucking company, owned Plains, a ranch, and then his two sons went to Vietnam, and one came back, and I think they sold all of it while my dad was in Vietnam.
They sold it while your dad was over there?
Yeah, or like they said, like he wasn't old enough, or don't worry, Ed's not coming back. Like, and yeah, I could write a book on that aspect of the.
My grandfather, his business was also trucking. When I told him I was moving to Scranton to go to school,
He's like, they have a banana business up
he's
there?
like, there's a banana trucking business up there. But no, that's what he told me. He's like, I've driven through Scranton 100 times going to Boston. And
He might have knew my grandfather.
he might have.
So you're in the service, after 9/11 happens, you go into the service,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And and stop me if I'm wrong for any of this, but so you eventually end up in a place that is as foreign as it can get.
Yeah.
For what you're used to.
Yeah. After training and after, I guess, the indoctrination of it all and getting there and finally being overseas, my first deployments were to Iraq. And then my last ones were to Afghanistan.